Alright, so I'm going to be replacing the alternator on this. It has a whining noise. In my other video I diagnosed it. So the first step is going to be, of course, to turn off the car, and I'm going to disconnect the negative battery cable. Disconnect the negative battery post, because stuff could be sparking when you're taking it apart if you don't. This is a 10mm nut. Loosen that off. Just gotta loosen it up. Set it aside, and you're good as long as you just undo the ground. So now we're gonna take the belt off. So right there, there's a hole that you can get your ratchet in. It's 3/8 ratchet. Get you to see. Oh. Alright, so the belt is off. We're just gonna get it out of the way. Alright, so I got the belt there. Alright, now that the belt is off, I'm gonna disconnect that plug there in the back of the alternator. And then there's gonna be a little black cap over the wire that's going to it, and that's held on by a 10mm nut. I'm gonna take that off. Might have to undo the bolt to move it forward, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm gonna disconnect the connector on the back there. Just press in the tab and pull it out. Alright, the connector's off. I'm gonna put it back out of the way. And there's a positive cable that's bolted to the back of the alternator. But I think I'm gonna unbolt the alternator first, and then we'll have better access to the back. 15mm bolt on the top, and a 15mm bolt on the bottom, times 2. So I'm just gonna connect to the top one. I'm gonna take it off. You can actually see that the alternator's cracked there. Maybe that has something to do with the noise, maybe not. Alright, so you may be able to do this without disconnecting that, but I disconnected this end of the radiator hose. I put it over there. I already drained the coolant because I'm going to be doing the Tommy Bell and water pump here soon. So I just got that moved out of the way. I'm going to do the bottom 2 bolts on the alternator. You might not be able to get them out from this way. In my case, the bolts are really tight, so I'm going to go from underneath and see if I can break them free there. So it is a bit easier to get to the other bolts from underneath. So I got them loosened, so I'm going to finish taking them off here. Alright, so I got the back bolt off, and I got the front bottom bolt just loosened. So I tilted this ahead. Now you can see the back of it. See, there's a little clip on each side. Just lift that up. And then we're gonna take that off. Looks like a 12 or 13 mil. I got the 13mm socket on there. I'm just gonna take it off. I took out the bottom bolt and I just lifted it up this way, and I finished taking the nut off of here. There's a 13mm socket. And I tried to spin it and it won't even move. And you can clearly see something went wrong. Okay, so I just attached the positive wire, tightened it on, then put the plastic cover over it. And I'm gonna lower it down into place now and get a bolt ready to put in the top. Okay, so I got the top bolt in. not completely tight, so it can still be moved around because you want to be able to put the other bolts in. Okay, so this is the view from underneath. If you can get under it, it's a lot easier. Okay, once they're all started, you can start tightening them down. Alright, so I got them tightened down, so I'm gonna go back to the top and tighten the top one. Okay, so I got it bolted tight in now. And as you can see, that one spins freely. And you just gotta plug in the connector in the back. Alright. So we're good to put the hose back if you took it off and put the belt back on. So put the belt on and pull up in this section like this on the back end, and that way it's easy to get the belt on. And just as you pull the tensioner back, you just slip it over the power steering belt. So once I got the belt in place, I let the tension on the tensioner go, and you just want to check all the belts and make sure it's on them right. And looks good here. Alright, so it looks like we'll be good to start. So it's running good now, and it's not making any of the noises it did before.